morning. I love that Monica is always here. Well, not always, but very often here before I even go live. It's just cool. It makes me feel like oh my goodness. Okay. No, there we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Somehow I am. Oh, you know what? I think it's because I have on in the background. Normally, I don't hear myself through my speakers. That was really odd. I'm not really sure what happened there, but since I don't have a guest and therefore don't hear anything, I just turn off my speaker. So you guys hear me twice now, and I'll figure that out. That was a totally new one. I've been doing this for over a year now, and never had I had that double volume going on. You know what? I got it. It was Instagram because there's a little delay on Instagram, and I have it up so I can see if people are commenting. And so the Instagram, that's what did it. Excuse me. Just to make sure that it was the fact that I hadn't muted my Instagram. Let me see. Yes, I just unmuted my speakers and I no longer have that echo. Awesome sauce. So now I know if that ever happens again, I just need to mute Instagram. Yay! So y'all can remind me that when next time I have a guest and I can't figure out why we can hear ourselves twice, because you know me, I'm not going to remember that. All right. So we have a few people here already. Of course, Monica was here before everybody, including me. Good morning, Monica. And we have Monique. And Monique, this is, once again, this is my, like, I like to stay warm. This is from the October issue of Crochet Foundry. And it's just a Ruana by Jenny King. And what I did is, because, you know, it's one big rectangle in the back and then it's split halfway through so that you have one rectangle that falls on the back and then two that fall down the front, one over each shoulder. And this is like a little hairdresser clip here. I don't know if you can really see it. I just took the ends and I wrapped them, crossed them over and wrapped them around because they're a little long, which is awesome if you're tall or whatever, but I'm not. So, and I'm sitting down and I'm on a rolly chair. So if I don't wrap them, what happens is whenever I move, I roll over the ends. And that's just not something you want. It's bad for the Ruana and for the chair and for my lack of grace. But again, this is designed by Jenny King and it is in the October 24 issue of Crochet Foundry. And hello, Sarah. All right. Let's see. So I have everything going, and now that I confused myself with the hearing double, better than seeing double, right? Let's talk a little bit about Vogue Knitting Live. It was a ton of fun, and we all got to talk to Akeen last week, so we didn't talk much about Vogue Knitting Live in general because we were busy talking about Akeen, which is awesome. Of course, we met him from Vogue Knitting Live 23 was when I met him the first time, and now we're getting to follow along on his career. And it is so fun. Akeen is the yarn art guy, and he makes paintings. He has the canvases, and he cuts pieces of yarn and hot glues them on there to make all sorts of really awesome works of art. I love it. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about Vogue Knitting Live, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I got while I was there. And I also want to let you know that the blog posts that I've been working on taking longer than I had planned because there are other things that I've been doing as well. But that should be up by the end of today. So if you will go to crochetfoundry.com and you click on blog, um, tomorrow because it should be up by the end of the day. So if you go there tomorrow, there should be a blog post up about Vogue Knitting Live because I made a whole bunch of little like YouTube shorts and such of some of the various booths and everything. And I have links so you can shop just like you were there, and little chats with some of the artists and some of the vendors and photos. And it was a really great time. And you guys can kind of feel a little like you were there by hopping over to that blog post that should be up tonight. So pop over there tomorrow. So I said I'd share a little bit about what I did while I was there. So first I want to show you this goofy little thing that I did. This is, my son bought me this for Christmas. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, you might recognize it. And yes, it actually works. It actually tells time. And no, unfortunately, when I open it, I do not turn into a Time Lord because, oh my God, if anybody could use a TARDIS, it would be me. But then what I did was I printed off these little circles. So if you look, you can see they have logos on them. So this side over here, everything on this side, um, that is all the Jessie at Home socials, and this is all the Crochet Foundry socials. And when you flip them over, it has the little QR code for whatever it is on it. So that is the Facebook, and there's the QR code, and that's Instagram, and there's the QR code, and that's where we are, one of the places we are right now, which is YouTube, and that's the QR code. Isn't that fun? I just double-sided printed them. I used the Canva, and I double-sided printed them on cardstock, and I laminated them with packing tape and cut them out. And I literally did this the night before I went to Vogue Knitting Live because I realized that a year later, I still had not put Crochet Foundry on my business card. So I was like, oh, crud. So this way I have all the links because I wore Crochet Foundry awesomeness every day that I went. Let's see, we have Sarah says, that is amazing. I'm not sure if she was saying, oh, I think she was saying that about the watch. Yes, that my son bought me. It is amazing. Isn't he just the coolest? My son is so sweet. So yeah, it's got the little Time Lord stuff. The other side is just like a pretty little watch. It's basically, yeah, it's just like a floral leaf. It's like a leaf pattern going on in there. But then, of course, this side is the Time Lord Gallifreyan side. So that I wore at VKL so I could share links and it didn't get lost because I didn't have to fish it out of anything. Let's see. And then while I was there, I ran into Katie, who I don't think you all have met, but I have plenty of times. Katie does a lot of the socials and marketing for Twice Sheared Sheep, and I know we've all met Twice Sheared Sheep because we had Dawn here with us a while back, and we're definitely going to have her again. And Katie and I were chatting about some stuff. We were also just hanging out because I really enjoy Katie. I love spending time with her. She's an awesome lady. But she also gave me this to share with you guys, which is you can get on Twice Sheared Sheep. It's called the cord quill. I kept wanting to say yarn quill. That would just be silly. It's a cord quill because it makes cord. Okay, and it comes with this little bag. Okay, and it's even got links where you can. I mean, let's see. I don't know that I can get it not fuzzy enough. But if you go to Twice Sheared Sheep, of course, you can find the information about it. I don't know that that's going to be big enough for you to be able to scan it. But if you go to Twice Sheared Sheep, this is the cord quill, and they have the links where it shows you how to do this with videos, both right-handed and left-handed, and it shows you how to like make this cord onto your existing knitting, and you could totally do it on a crochet. I'll figure it out. But watch how simple it is. It's like 3 latch hooks, right? And you wrap your yarn around and you pull and then toss it back down. Wrap your yarn around, pull, toss it down. Okay, so I'm doing this like so you guys can see. which means I'm a little bit like, oops, being a little bit fiddly. I was going to say I'm doing this so you guys can see, which means I'm being a little bit fiddly, and it's still going super fast. And then, of course, it didn't go super fast. But imagine how fast this goes when you're not trying to show somebody else and doing it in front of your face instead of, where you can actually see what you're doing. Or, it's super fast, okay? So I've just been playing around with it with some universal yarn that was in one of my goodie bags. So it was, let's see, oh, here it is. I even kept the little thing, yarn band. Uni Merino Mini, and is what this little dude of yarn, this little piece of yarn is. So that's what I've been playing with to make this cord. And let's see, and remember it comes in this really nifty little bag, which is awesome because, of course, you don't want these little guys to get caught on things. And one of the things that I realized I can do is I can put it in the bag hook side down, okay, like this, even when it's still got something on it, because if the something gets pulled, since I put the hook side down, it's not going to yank it off the ends. And by doing that, I don't have to worry about the ends of this getting caught on my yarn, even when I'm in the process of making something, okay? Because I can leave both the tail of the cord that I'm making and the tail of the yarn outside of here, and then just kind of, wrap it all together if you want or whatever. So that is really, really nifty. I love that. And I love that they thought about the fact that it's going to catch on things, so they give you a bag to go with it. What else did I get? Well, I was there. Here we go. I'm kind of a Catrinkles, like, I'm a major Catrinkles lover. So I got the Vogue Knitting Live set of stitch markers, and let's really kind of open them up. And they do usually have two sets. One set that has the continuous ring, that's good if you knit, and then another set that has the removable stitch markers, which works for knit and crochet both. So I'm going to pop this little dude off here, and let's see. I think this might have been the one that they just, if you buy anything, you get one of these. I wish that, I don't know how to make it focus on a close-up here. Well, yeah, there's no really good way to make it focus on a close-up, guys. I will definitely take some photos and include the photo of these in with the blog post so you can see them better. This one just says 2025 VKL NYC Catrinkles. Let's see. Hold on. There's a few more comments. Monique says that she loves twice sheared sheep. We all over here love twice sheared sheep, don't we? And we also love Catrinkles. Do they make a mending machine thingy? um, I'm not sure what mending machine thingy you're talking about. So I don't know. I usually speak, Monique, but you got me on that one. Okay, and so here's another one. So that first one I showed you, I think, was the one that they just give you when you buy anything. To fix holes in clothes. You mean like the round thing that you like stick underneath, and it's got like the little holy weavy ends? I'm really not sure. I don't remember if I've seen that on Twice Sheared Sheep or not. So I'm not sure. I honestly do not remember if I've seen one of those on Twice Sheared Sheep. I know I've seen them various places. And I think I have one. The rubber band that came with it snapped, but you don't actually need to use the rubber band. You could like tie a piece of yarn or something around it, or get a new rubber band. So all right, so that one that I showed you first was, I think, the one that they give you if you buy anything, if you bought anything. That but then the rest of these came from the little set that I got, that it says I love New York, I love NY on it, or actually, but it doesn't say love. It's got a yarn. Sorry, it's got a ball of yarn. So ball of yarn, NY. But we all know that means love, right? And then this one is just fancy pants, kind of like a theater marquee, and says Catrinkles on it. Okay, like I said, I'll take a good photo of them and put them in the blog post that's going up tonight, so you'll see it tomorrow. And this one says VKL 2025, and is that in the shape of New York State, maybe? You know, I should know the shape of New York State, but I'm much better at, like, you know, I don't live in New York State. I live in New Jersey. Uh, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, this one is like a theater ticket, and it says VKL NYC 2025 at Mid One Katrinkles. And I had really big ones of these too that I was kind of like torn between getting the big one of these that was on a keychain and getting this set. And then I was like, well, the big one of these that's on the keychain, it doesn't do anything other than look cool. Whereas these are actual stitch markers and came with a small version. All right, I got two more. And this one is just a pretty picture of the New York City skyline, or a skyscraper skyline. I don't know that it's necessarily New York City. So there you go. It doesn't actually look like it's specifically New York City. I don't recognize anything. This, however, is the New York. Well, this is, what is this? Yeah, this is a skyline. It's pretty. It's hard to decide if it's actually, I think it is specifically the New York City skyline. Um, but that's what this is. Okay. And let's see, that is all of the Katrinkles stitch markers that were in that set. Let's see. Okay, now we have more questions now that I finished showing off those. The one with the wooden bobbin holds fabric, and you can kind of mend in between. They also have the ones with the little metal things on them that hook, and then you can weave. Yeah, so that round, that like little round thing that you stick underneath, and then you put the rubber band or whatever around, so it's like, it looks like almost like a giant button. And you put the rubber band around it to hold it, and then it's got the little like mendy bits on it. Yeah, I've seen those. You think that Katrinkles makes them? They might. I really don't remember if I've seen them at Katrinkles or Twice Shared Sheep or anywhere. I know I've seen them various places, and that's the problem. I've seen them several places, so I don't remember specifically who has them. You can never have enough notions. I completely agree. And then there was one more thing that I bought. It says EKL. Um, I may have gotten a little bit happy, guys. Can you guess what it is? Guess what it is? Guess what it is? They're from Australia. All right. You want to guess what they are? Somebody, quick! I'm waiting. Nobody's guessing. If I turn the box sideways, yes, it is called the thing that you were talking about, Monique, is called a darning loom. Oops. There we go. If I turn the box sideways, you'll know for sure what it is. You want the darning loom, or you want this? Sarah says sheep. No, moo. I mean, Monica agrees with Monique that she loves notions. Okay, if I turn it this way, can you tell what it is? Okay, here you go, guys. About shoes. No, it wasn't wool. It was shoes. It's made out of wool. They're made out of merino wool, and they're really awesome. So these guys, the Woolloomooloo people, were at VKL, and there's actually a little video tour of their booth in the blog post that's going up this evening, and they had like maybe like 4 or 5 different styles of shoes, and then they all had, and then there were different like within the style, like so within the style there were different fabrics or whatever and colors and stuff, right? And it's all merino. They said digitally knit. I'm not really sure what digitally knit means as opposed to machine knit, but it's not like the knit design is printed on it. It is knit. It's teeny tiny knit. It is knit though. Like it's not like, you know, when you get the crochet pajamas and they've printed a crochet pattern on like usually a knit fabric. This is actually truly knit with these colors and everything. So what they did is they had samples of all the different shoes and the different designs and everything. So the different styles with the different fabric designs. And then they had a bunch you could try on, and then you were ordering them there, and they were doing free shipping and a discount if you got them there. And so this is actually the design of the pair that I tried on, the style and the fabric design of the pair that I tried on. I looked at a whole bunch of the other fabric designs, but in the end, this was the one that I liked. They are in, I here we call these the European shoe sizes, as opposed to like the 7.5, 8. Like I usually wear somewhere between. Oh, look, it does say actually U.S. women 7.5-8, and I was going to say I usually wear somewhere between a 7.5 and 8, and that's what size these are. So it does actually say that up there, but they're in the European sizes. So, but you could try them on, walk around with them. It was really great. The guy who was like taking your shoes off for you and putting these on for you, I felt like a princess. And I said that I was like, I feel like a princess. And he said, well, you should. It was really sweet. They were great people in the booth. And just there was something about them about the two gentlemen who were working in the booth. They were really nice. I really liked them. And they were professional, and they were very pleasant to be around, and not in a fake sort of way. Like you could tell they were just good guys, right? And I love that. And they really understood the audience, right? So these are just, I'm madly in love with them. I'm so excited. They just arrived the other day. I haven't gotten to wear them yet. But these are going to be my new like trade show conference shoes, because they're super, super comfortable. Okay, like unbelievably comfortable, guys. I can wear them. I know I'm going to be able to wear these all day long at a trade show conference, and I'm so glad that like I now know where I can get more of them and everything. And I said they're Australian. Yes, they are Australian, but they're Australian as in they're from Australia, and they get their yarn from there. They're the wool, the merino from there, but they're out of, I believe, Seattle. So you're not paying for shipping from Australia. I really am not sure what the shipping costs, because they were giving free shipping to everybody at BKL, in addition to a discount. So these shoes are normally $100, and they would have been completely and totally worth it. Everything I've experienced with them so far, just from trying them on, I would have been like, oh yeah, I would have paid $100 and shipping for these, because they're really well made, and they're sustainable. They're supporting our industry, right? And I will let you know as I wear them how they stand up, but from my experience, just from trying them on, from reading about them and everything else, I have a feeling that I'm going to be like, oh, heck yeah. These things are just my favorite thing ever on the face of the planet. So we'll see, but I am very optimistic, not even cautiously optimistic, just incredibly optimistic about these awesome pair of shoes that I got. So I should become an affiliate with them, right? But it's Wooloomaloo, and the links will all be in that blog post. Here, I will give you the link as a comment here. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you should be able to see it. I'll give you the name. It's Wool, WOOLLOOMOOLOO. So wool. Oh, here we go. That's how you spell it. Wool, loo, moo, loo. And then you just type in shoe at the end of it. wooloomaloo.shoe.com. All right. So that will give you the website. And I think I saw that they were having some sort of a sale or something. I'm not sure. I was grabbing their link today, and I saw something on there. You don't have to worry about like telling them where you came from or whatever. As far as I know, they don't have any sort of an affiliate program. I mean, you can tell them so that they know that they're getting, you know, publicity from Crochet Foundry or whatever if you want to. But honestly, I'm just sharing it with you because I'm super excited. And I know I'm going to be so happy with them. Ooh, I don't, even in the box, I don't like putting my shoes on the table. Like, it took me a minute to realize I just did that. No, no shoes on the table, man. It's left over from being in theater. It's like one of those very few theater things that I follow, which is I do not put shoes on a table. All right, so, um, brain zap. What time is it? It's 12:26. All right. Our live, this is the live, our sit and stitch today is at 4 Eastern. So that's 4 hours after this started. So it's currently almost 12:30 Eastern. So in just a little bit over 3.5 hours will be the live sit and stitch. So if you receive the newsletter, you would have about half an hour ago gotten in the newsletter message email saying that the sit and stitch starts in 4 hours, and has the link. And of course, if you don't have the link, you can, if you're not on the newsletter, you can go over to crochetfoundry.com, and then under community, there's the navigation menu, which is if you're on a computer, it's across the top. If you're on a mobile device, there's that hamburger menu, those 3 lines. If you click on that, you'll find a link that says community. If you click on that, you'll find one that says sit and stitches. And it is under sit and stitches is where you'll find the links to all of the upcoming sit and stitches. Like I said, if you're in the newsletter, if you get the newsletter, you would have gotten the link on Saturday and then again about half an hour ago. And that is for 2 hours long. Oh, Monica has to babysit today, so no sit and stitch. You can turn us on mute. Put the kids down for a nap. I have no idea how old they are. So there is that. And I think today during the sit and stitch, I might actually be doing some bead repair. So you know how we do the medieval reenactments? My family and I do those medieval reenactment things. My husband and my daughter are currently the king and queen. And this is this really cool, like, collary thing. It sits like around your shoulders and down. So it's almost like a wide neck dress or top, you know. So it sits like from here and comes around like this and then hangs on the back the same way. But it's coming apart a bit. So I think what I'm going to do is just try to give it some TLC, see if I can repair it. Because like there are places where it's completely, where the thread has broken, and it looks like it might have, no, I don't think it was bead thread. I don't think it was bead thread. I think it was just like a cottony bead thread or something. It's not the, I don't know. Anyway, it's, even if it might have been bead thread, but it's old and broken at this point. So I'm going to see if I can give it some TLC, put it back together again, right? So I think that's what I might be doing during the sit and stitch. We'll figure it out. I may be down here. I may go upstairs. It depends on how warm or cold it is, because it is definitely cold today. Oh, the baby is 7 months, so you know, if he's taking a nap. And Sarah gave the link, the wooloomaloo.com, and she is join us and get a 10% off first order offer. So I'm guessing you probably need to sign up for the newsletter and you'll get 10% off your first order, which is pretty good considering, you know, the price of the shoes. 10% is a decent, you know, you're talking for that pair, that was $100, that'd be $10 off, right? So that's cool. Yeah, there wasn't tax, but that might just be because there's not tax on clothes in New York. I can never remember if, I think they have to do the tax based on where they are selling, not where they are from. And New York City doesn't tax clothes. So that's why there wasn't, that might have been why there wasn't tax. I'm not sure whether or not they would have tax if you buy it from the website or not. Some places tax clothes, some places don't. Who knows? You'll find out when you're there. I mean, whatever the law is, they'll have to follow it. So, yeah, I might, let's see, Trent, I guess is the name of the 7-month-old. Love babies and that age. Yes, that is a good age, you know, because they're not just crying or sleeping. They're actually a little bit more. They're they you can they have more of a personality. They like already are developing their personality, and you can kind of, you know, play with them and help them discover the world and show them themselves in the mirror, and they get all excited and point out their fingers and toes, and they get all excited. Point out your fingers and toes. They're just so easy to entertain. You know, yeah, 7 months was a fun age. It was all basically fun until they hit 3-year-old, especially twins. That was when they started going nuts. That's when they usually start screaming and they find their feet usually. So yeah, so like I said, I might be down here, I might be upstairs. It depends on if it's really cold down here. It's kind of chilly. And it also depends on if the sound of the leaking pipe behind me makes me want to cry or not. So you can't see it, but there's there's that wall behind me, right? And that wall, it's a partial wall right at the very edge of the screen, where you see that purple yarn back there. You can see there's like the thread, and that's the end of the false wall that's there, and behind that is the other half of my basement. And it I was getting some stuff from back there yesterday and noticed that one area that I don't go into a lot. Um, well, when I went back there and I had socks on but no shoes, I was like, I don't think this is cold. I think this is wet. And then I kind of looked and realized that like a huge section back there was wet. Thankfully, it was like 2 feet from where I have in thankfully a plastic bin with a lid on it. The I have crochet Foundry samples. I'm like, this is why I keep things in plastic bins with lids. Um, and and I was trying to figure out. I was like, I didn't spill something, and this is way too much water for like spilt something or whatever. And then I looked up, and on the ceiling there's this like two. There's like a it's not really a column. It's like a 2 foot wide little wooden 3-sided box that's covering a bunch of the pipes across the ceiling, the pipes that come from the boiler, right? And I noticed that it was peely, and that's where the drips were coming from. So, and this was last night that I noticed it. So today we're going to have to clean everything that's under that entire run of the little pipe cover thing, and get all of the stuff out from underneath it, just everything really far away from that, because I'm sure as soon as we start to take it apart, there's going to be like puddles of water pouring out of there because it's probably holding up a bunch of water. And then once we take that, I mean, it's easy to take apart. It's made to take apart because it is covering pipes, and you know, but yeah, it's pipes from the boiler. So the boiler's been running a lot because it's been really cold. Um, so the pipe, being that it's pipes from the boiler, is kind of good news in that, you know, it's not affecting any of the rest of the water in our house. But it's not like I can turn the boiler off because it's like really freaking cold in New Jersey. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to pay for this, but we do have to repair it. So yeah, so that was my exciting find last night. That my the pipes for my boiler are leaking. Yes, Monique. Thankfully, I mean, you know what? I have such paranoia about floods and water. It's like I'll do a lot of home repair myself, but I won't touch anything that deals with plumbing. I literally we had the keys to the house for less than 24 hours before I had found a plumber. All right, and I've been using them ever since, and they are freaking phenomenal. Um, but yeah, if you live in this area, Margot Plumbing, North Jersey, they're freaking awesome. Um, and yeah, so since I'm really paranoid about that sort of stuff, um, that whole little thing that is covering up the pipes from that come out of the boiler and run across the basement ceiling, um, I didn't really have much under it because I'm so paranoid about water. So thankfully, there's not really much that's under it that was actually getting wet other than the carpet. But it had been happening long enough, probably since we turned on the heat, because I wasn't in that area of the basement much, that a huge amount of the carpet had gotten wet. And again, thankfully, because I'm paranoid about water and this is a basement, everything tends to either be like if it's a bookshelf or something, I make sure that it has like feet on it, or else I put it on something. And if and I don't put things in cardboard boxes down here unless they're on top of something. Otherwise, I put them in the plastic bins. So thankfully, there wasn't really much in the way of damage other than the piece covering the pipes. Let's see, what is money? Yesterday, you had to fix your kitchen sink, and it was $1,000. Yeah, my boiler, I do. We have to do a maintenance. We do maintenance with it every year. That's normally like $300 to $400. And this year, the emergency shutoff valve was not working properly, which, you know, if the emergency shutoff doesn't work, it'll just keep going even when the water is gone, and then you can burn your house down. So instead of $300, that cost $1,200. And so I just spent, like last month, I just spent $1,200 on the plumber, and now I don't even want to think about what this one's going to cost. Always willing to, yeah, always willing to do electricity, but don't touch plumbing. Yeah, you know what? And I joke around with my husband. I'm like, well, if I screw up the electricity, then I'm going to be dead. But if I screw up with the plumbing, then I flooded my house, and I'm just going to wish that I was dead. And he does not find this funny at all. But I'm like, dude, I'm not touching plumbing. I know how to do it, but I'm not going to do it. I just my plumber has a $3 million insurance policy, and I will let them do it. Good handy people are fine. Yes, have all your yarn and plastic tubs as well because you're scared. Yeah, see, just play it safe. Uh, Monica says maybe you should have been Monica says maybe she should have been. Monique says that maybe she should have been a plumber. Um, yeah, exactly. I know what I can do and what I can't do. I mean, there is plumbing that I can do, and but I'm not I'm not risking it. I'm not gonna accidentally flood my house. And Monica doesn't touch plumbing or electricity. Your skill doesn't feel that far. Well, okay. My father is an amazing woodworker and really beyond. He started off like working for a company that built houses when he was in his late teens and early 20s. And then he went on to become a custom woodworker, like where he would build customized um, uh, uh, cabinets and furniture and things specifically for your house. Like he built a Heisman Trophy case like for somebody, and he used to build these really cool just really incredibly cool entertainment systems and everything. Um, and when I was a kid, if I ever needed more money than I had, I would go and work for my dad, and he would pay me. and I learned incredible, useful skills and had money to do things that I wanted to do. So I do, I have education from somebody who actually knows what they're doing. I don't think that I know what I'm doing because my dad was a woodworker. I have a good idea of what I'm doing because my dad was a woodworker and taught me how to do things. And like, what, like 10 or so years ago, we, 1 year over spring break, my parents came and we all built a new deck on my house. I mean, it's a small deck. It's just like big enough. You walk out and I have a side door, and the deck portion of it is just like we have the grill up there and like a small little table, and that only sits two people. It's just for like if it's a nice day and you want to sit outside while you're crocheting or whatever. Um, so it's not a big deck. It's maybe like 6 feet by 8 or 10 feet, and then there's the stairs that go down. But that was our spring break, because we built that together as a family, and you know, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I have a lot of home repair, how handyman skills, because that was how I that was how I paid for things when I was a kid, was working for my dad. Sarah says her dad was very handy and an airplane mechanic. I remember I've heard that before. The airplane flight. You were helping him in his wood shop from a toddler stage. You're way handier than your brother. Yeah, I get amused when my husband's friends will come over. We have our garage in our backyard. My house was built in 1900, like 1900, not the 1900s, but in 1900. So it's 125 years old. And our garage is actually, it's not attached to the house. It's a, it's actually an old stable from horse and buggies. Okay. So it's an old stable. It's got two sets of stable doors and then a regular door next to it. So it could be a 3-car garage if you wanted to, like, futz with the front of it to turn it into that. It's big enough to be a 3-car garage. Um, it's not even a 1-car garage because the stable doors don't work very well. Uh, so I've got like a full wood shop back there and everything. And it's great when my husband's friends come over and they'll be like, "I'm here to borrow Doug's jigsaw." And I'm like, "No, you're not." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "You're here to borrow my jigsaw." And yes, you're welcome. And make sure you return it because I value my tools. So, Monique says your mom's house is 100 years old in April. Wow. Your dad was a musician. Oh, I love musicians. And your ex-husband was an idiot. No one to teach you handiwork. Oh my God. I love musicians. My brother is a musician. My husband does not have any musical ability at all, and it astounds people because, like, one of the first things they would say when I was getting serious with my husband and everything is they're like, "Oh, well, what instrument does he play?" And I was like, "None." And they're like, "Oh, well, can he sing?" And I'm like, "No." they're like they're like, "How can you, of all people, like, fall in love with somebody with no musical ability?" And I'm like, "I have no freaking clue, but it must tell you how awesome he is because he's got no musical ability and I'm still madly in love with him." you know um yeah, if I could change one thing about him, I'd give him some sort of musical talent. But at least other than, I'm not a big fan of country music and he's become one, but other than that, he has really good taste in music, so there's that at least. But yeah, I'm totally shocked I didn't marry somebody with musical ability. Yeah, we're all highly amused by Monica. Her dad was a musician and her ex-husband was an idiot. Well, then I'm glad he's your ex. So, yeah. So I know the last like 15 minutes has not been very yarny, but and normally we are more yarny than that. But honestly, guys, I thank you. Needed to. I'm 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 very incredibly stressed about the leaky pipe coming out of my boiler because it's far enough away from the boiler that I know it's not a boiler issue, it's a pipe issue. Um, so I'm sure they'll just have to replace one little run of pipe. Um, worst case scenario, they'll have to replace a section of the pipe. And it definitely could be a whole lot worse if the problem was within the boiler. Um, but it's far enough away from the actual boiler that I know it's not. But still, it's like it's steam heat, so it's not a PVC pipe, and I am pretty darn sure it can't be a PVC pipe because steam heat, not PVC pipes. So it's probably going to be super expensive, and it's really got me stressed out. I don't really know how I'm going to be able to pay for it, but oh well. If anybody wants to buy some more magazines, patterns, we have tons of indie patterns. Although I don't make a lot on the indie patterns because we pay the designers, but make a little bit. What was my favorite part of VKO? Honestly, the people. Like I love the community. I absolutely love the crochet community and the knit community. I love the yarn community. I love the people, and there's most of the people within the yarn community are my people, and Vogue is Vogue leads by example when it comes to like DEI. All right, they have an incredible DEI board, and they had a couple, like they have the fashion show stage floor where they do different things, and and they they had a couple um, presentations or whatever that were given by various members of the DEI board, and they're just everything they do. They're very they just care that you're part of this industry and you're putting something amazing into this industry, and that's all that matters. Nothing else does. And then they're making sure that they are being inclusive and everything, and it's really great. Monica asked this question, and I think I'm going to answer that question by showing you the table that where I was sitting at the Go Sadie game night. Here we go. So this was the Go Sadie game night, the table that I sat at. And this right here, this is the awesome Brittany of Not Bad Brit and the founder of the Makers of Color Collective, which is an amazing resource. It's an amazing resource for people who are not me, who are not white, who want to find others and find resources that will help you. And there's it's an amazing sources for people like me who are white, or anyone else for that matter, who wants to make sure that you are being diverse in what you do, because they have a roll call. I can't think of what it's called right now, but they have like a members list or whatever, where you can go and find the different people who are members of the Makers of Color Collective, so you can be sure that you are paying attention to diversity. And basically everybody here in this group, aside from the other two white girls, are part of the Makers of Color community, the Makers of Color Collective. So this is Britt, aka Not Bad Brit, aka founder of Makers of Color Collective, and also an incredible crochet designer and just an awesome human. This, of course, answers your question, Monica. That would be Tony Lipsy. This is my friend Samantha Brunson. who is also a crochet designer and had worked with Go Sadie for a while and is just another awesome human. This is Katie, who I was talking about, who does the marketing for Twice Sheared Sheep. I've run into her at several different shows, and I just adore her endlessly. And we spent a decent amount of time together. This is another dear friend of mine. This is Natalie from Detroit Knots, another amazing crochet designer and awesome human. And Natalie and Brittany are two of my heroes because they will sit down with me when I'm trying to figure out something to do, and I want to make sure either one, that I am doing things in a way as a magazine publisher, as the publisher of Crochet Foundry, that works for the designers, because even though I am also a designer and I have certainly worked with plenty of magazines as a designer, um, sometimes when you're looking, it's hard to look at it through both eyes. So when I'm trying to figure out things with Crochet Foundry and I need like a designer's opinion on things, the two of them are also awesome with that. And they also are both really awesome at, when I'm like brainstorming ways that I can up my inclusivity and up my DEI, make sure that that Crochet Foundry and Jessie at Home are platforms that are helping everybody and that are giving a voice to those who don't always have the loudest voice. They're always there to help me figure it out, and I could not be more grateful to have people like them in my life, and of course just the fact that they're amazing ladies who I love dearly. So this is Natalie from Detroit Knots, and then um, I can't remember her name. She actually wasn't sitting with us. That's my seat she's sitting in because she just came over to talk. She's on the DEI board for Vogue, as is Brittany, um, as is Britt. But I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. I feel like she was part of Circle of Stitches, which I might have. Yes, the Circle of Stitches. Um, but I don't have her name here. So Circle of Stitches is a yarn store in Salem, Massachusetts, which is awesome. And it's either her store or co-owner or something. But she's very, very cool, but I only just met her, and I'm sorry, guys, I forgot her name. If anybody knows her name, please feel free to share it. Yeah, Tony Lipsy. Yes, there's Tony and Britt, and yeah, it was a fun table. It was a lot of fun. There were a couple times. It's always fun when you're hanging out with Tony. It's always super cute because she is so gracious whenever somebody fangirls at her. So we would just be sitting at the table and then somebody would walk in and they'd be like, doing the, oh my God, you're Tony, right? And she would just be like, hi. And they would come over and they'd be talking to her and she'd be, and we all know, like, if you're friends with Tony, you know how it works. When somebody comes over and starts fangirling at Tony, everybody else stops and like, well, we might have our own little conversation, but we let Tony, have her moment with her person, and we'll let that person have their moment with Tony. And it's just the sweetest thing because she will stop whatever she's doing and give them her attention. She's such a, all of these ladies, they're just amazing humans. So I love it. Monique is like, yeah, that would be you. You'd be the one fangirling over Tony. It's really cute. I love it. It's adorable when people do it. I'm very often the person who's like, would you like me to take your photo? They're like, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. It's adorable. Yes, she's an amazing designer and teacher. She really is, and a great human. So yeah. So there's your answer. Yes, Tony was there. How do I pop back? Here we go. Yeah. So I had an absolute blast at VKL, and yeah, the people are my favorite. Just they're good humans, and Vogue, like I said, Vogue leads by example when it comes to making sure that it is a place for you love yarn crafts. Come here, love yarn crafts. Be not. It's like I swear we have the same two rules. Be kind. Don't make me make any other rules. I'm sure they have other rules, but you know that's my those are the Crochet Foundry rules. Be kind. Don't make me make any other rules. Um, but they've got that down, man. There's even the one the DEI members, and I think there were a few other people as well, had little stickers on, you know, how you have the little things that hang off the bottom of their name tags that say like teacher, blah, 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 whatever. They had ones that said like safe space ambassador. So basically it was like, if there was something that you felt unsafe about, be it somebody being a jerk, be it somebody coughing all over people, whatever it was, you could talk to any of them. Um, and you know that was what they you know that was one of their things, was, you know, making sure people were safe, and I love that. Wish you had the ability to design. Well, Monica, let me tell you, if everybody could design, I wouldn't have a magazine, and designers wouldn't have a job. So you know, it's like we love we love the makers, designers, everybody. Designers love makers because they're the reason we exist, right? um and it's awesome. I mean, yes, I understand, like, you would like to be able to design because then you can make your own thing, um but nobody thinks there are no good human designer, no designer who's a good person thinks less of makers because they're not designers. um because obviously designers wouldn't have a job if everybody could design, right? We need makers. Sarah says that's a great thing. I'm pretty sure she was talking about having the safe space ambassadors at Vogue Knitting Live. Right, exactly. So much respect for makers because oh, and designers, makers and designers. Yes, um, we need each other, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. Makers and designers need each other. The makers need the designers to provide the designs. The designers need the makers because otherwise they're designing for nobody. So it's awesome. It's wonderful. And I mean, I know that like I'm a designer, and I could design and come up with a pattern for and everything, um, just about anything if I put my mind to it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to or I want to. There are times like I can do knit as well as I can do crochet. My mom was looking for this specific style knit cardigan she wanted to make. I didn't have it. I didn't even attempt to design it. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna find you a pattern by somebody who knows how to write patterns. We're gonna find you a good pattern for the design that for the cardigan you want, and I will help you with it, but I'm not making a pattern. You know, I didn't have the time or the inclination to. It wasn't something that was my cup of tea for designs. And so, you know, there are still times as a designer, you use other designers. I really, amigurumi stuffed things, not my cup of tea. Um, I can do it, but I don't really want to. So I get the designs from other people when I want to make one, right? Um, I did a few of them to challenge myself. I used to participate in the Underground Crafter. I think it was the Crochet Corner, and she would do a crochet along once a year that was like a softy crochet along or a toy crochet along or whatever. and I would participate in it because it would challenge me, and I would have to do it once a year. Um, and I did that for a while just because I really felt like it like was good for my skills and everything. And then I was like, you know what, I'm good now. I've done a few of them. I can do them. I don't want to. Yeah, the yarn community, great relationships, great community. And oh, Angelisa's going or saying hi. I think she's saying hi, not bye. Um, so yeah. All right, guys, it is 1 o'clock. So I hope you enjoyed our little chat about VKL and Woolloomaloo shoes that I got that I ordered when I was at VKL, and our fun little stitch markers. And yeah, the VKL wrap up post, which will have some video tours of the uh, fiber artists, of some of the fiber artists and of some of the booths. And we'll also have some photos of some of the other fiber artists and some of the other booths. And we'll have links for any of those. We'll be going up tonight, hopefully. So check it out tomorrow. Go to the Crochet Foundry blog tomorrow to see all of that. I think this is a sticker. So go to the Crochet Foundry blog tomorrow, and you will be able to find that Vogue Knitting Live video or blog post that will allow you to shop like you were there. So check that out, and I'm going to stop futzing with things. And have a great day. And I will see, hopefully, some of you in 3 hours at the Crochet Foundry Sit and Stitch. So you can find, if you are not on the newsletter and you don't have the email in your email right now with the link, then you can go to Crochet Foundry blog, and under the so if you go to Crochet Foundry blog is where the post will be tomorrow. But if you go to Crochet Foundry and click on blog, it will take you over the blog. But if you go to Crochet Foundry here, I will show you real quick where you can find the link for the sit and stitch for those of you who want to join us. There we go. If you are on a mobile device, there's that little hamburger menu. That's the 3 lines. And you can click on those, and that will bring down this menu right here. Under Community is Sit and Stitches. And that is where you can always find the links for the upcoming Sit and Stitches. I try to make sure I have at least 1 month in advance. I need to go through here and delete some of the done ones, and I should probably add on the next month because this is the last meeting in January. So you can see it's from 4 to 6, and you can click to register here. And I believe if you do that, like, and it's less than 24 hours away, it'll just like give you the link. If you click it and it's more than 24 hours away, it will remind you later with the link or whatever. But when you sign up and put your email there, it doesn't keep your email. Because I don't like to do that to you guys. It only takes your emails for reminding you about the meeting and giving you the link and everything. And then when that's done, your email is gone. I don't send you anything you don't specifically ask for. So registering will not sign you up for the newsletter. You would have to do that separately if you're not part of the newsletter. The easiest way to sign up for the newsletter is if you're just on crochetfoundry.com and you scroll down, you can sign up for the newsletter at the bottom. All right. And this is where you find the blog. So when you do that tomorrow morning, the first post will probably be the one with the Vogue Knitting Live wrap up. All righty, guys. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen and them. Like there was one that went really well with ladies, gentlemen, and something else, and now I've forgotten what it is. Anyway, awesome people, wonderful community, yarnists, yarn lovers. It's been great to see you, to talk to you all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see a bunch of you in 3 hours at our Sit and Stitch. And I will see you again in a week at the next live. And we are getting more and more guests to join us here, so you won't always be listening to me by myself. Alrighty. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.